Welcome back to Tennessee Frugal Craftsman. We are all ready for a pour on Monday. I passed my electrical inspection, which was just a connection down there. I don't know whether you can see, it's just a cable, a 1/4 inch copper line attached to the rebar. So that passed, so we're ready to pour. But what do you do when you have excess concrete? You order a bunch and you don't use it all. I decided I would build some steps here, and anything that I had left over, like pour, if it's, get a couple of steps, 3 of them, whatever. I've got to pour 3 different pours here, at least, with the footers, the walls, and then the floors. So what I did is I just framed up, kind of dug into the earth here, framed up a set of steps, 7 3/4 inch rises, and then down here, once this footer is poured, this is going to allow the floor, once the walls are on here, the floor is going to go from 4 inches deep all the way down here. It'll still be 4 inches below the footer, but at this point it's going to be 3 inches. So it's going to have a 1 inch drop over the 20 feet. And what I'll do is I'll just pour right out at the end of my wall, because this is going to be the retaining wall, concrete retaining wall. I'll just pour that 3 inches of concrete right out around here, and that will give me a 7 3/4, because this is a 10 3/4 rise from here to there. So by the time I put 3 inches of concrete in there, I'll have the same 7 3/4 all the way up. So I thought that would be the easiest thing to do with the excess concrete, instead of just throwing it away or sending it back to the plant. The other thing I did, and I'm not exactly sure whether I included this in a earlier video, but I cut off the well casing here, put a cap on it, just a PVC cap. What I did is I leveled over from there and off the footers and went up 4 extra inches, the height of the floor. So when this is poured, this will be right at the floor height. Cut that with a reciprocating saw and a metal cutting blade. Here you can see my connection up close to connect to the footer. That's what's required here. That is a brass coupler with a stainless steel nut. And just attach the 1/4 inch and go up and attach to your meter above. So we are right there, ready to go. It'll be nice to get this first part poured. And I had some extra rebar here, so I just bent and put some rebar in to hold this together. It's not pretty. I didn't have my bender with me, so I just used my hands and bent that around there so it'll have some stability. So just to give you a quick tutorial on how I built these, what I did is I measured in off my footers roughly the same, and I set this one 10 3/4 inches higher than this level. So I'll just come back and show you here. Get this up here. So at this level, that's the footer. This level's the step. 10 3/4 inches down to here. That allows 7 3/4 inch rise on my step and another 3 inches thickness for the concrete floor coming out here, sitting on the footer. So that first one is important that you get it set right. So 7 3/4 was what the elevation was. Now all I did is I just measured in kind of roughly what I thought, kind of how the slope of the hill was going. There's no set rule here, but I measured in, I think this was about 18-20 inches that I put this one. This one was about 36 or so. And what I did is just cut another, I actually spliced this together, but that's another 7 3/4. And I'll come down here so you can see it closely. This is actually chamfered on a 45, so I can get back in there with the broom sweep. But that will give me the elevation I need right there. So that's the way I did all of those going up. I chamfered them, put them on a 45. So we can screed this off here with a stick, and then when we get it right in close to that edge right there, all I'll do is I'll take my trowel and I'll just grate in, smooth it, and then when it gets ready to put a finish on, just run my my broom sweep right across, right in underneath of that. And so you won't be able to tell, you don't see the thickness of this, 1 inch thickness on my pine board. It's just that, fine line where I'm working with the chamfer. Then I stepped up, made another one, 7 3/4, set it at 18 inches to the back point here. So I'm was trying to keep everything the same. Set it at 18 inches. So that'll be the finished thickness right here, or width of that step. And then I just staked it, came across wherever I felt it. This one probably could have come out this way a bit more, but like I said, this is just a back set of steps. I'm not too overly concerned. But if you were doing something really, wanted a really clean finish on it, then I would have brought it out so it intersects at 38 inches roughly. Then I squared in, just put my square on here, squared in, squared that, just staked along it, made sure my measurement between here and here was staying at 38 inches. That's the width of these stairs. Then I made another one, went straight across. It can run long, it doesn't have to be perfect. Actually, the longer the better. You can get out there and get stakes on it, and if you move anything around, you got a little bit more play. Once I set that, again, it measured in 18 inches to the inside edge down there. Set this one, put a stake in, set the other side, made sure everything was level. And that's how I built these, 18, 18, 18. And as I went up, I wasn't as concerned about equidistant here. I was concerned about the equidistant here because I'm coming around a curve here as I go up. And so I was just kind of eyeballing it as I went. And like I said, you can see the steel that I put in. That's going to give it a little bit of extra strength, tying it all together. Like I said, it's not perfect. I just bent it by hand, but there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps for a total of 7 rises. I guess, yeah, 7 rises by the time you come up here. So, only took me probably about 5 or 6 hours to frame that in. And that'll give me a place to put all my excess concrete, anything left over. And like I said, if we are not, if I've done a couple pours and I don't have enough concrete to do any of this, then the very last pour I'll just add a couple yards and we'll do this at the same time. So anyway, that was the process. Appreciate you joining me. If you would, please like and subscribe. Be looking forward to a lot more videos coming up as we start building. And so I appreciate you being with me these 2+ years coming to this point, but we're getting there. So till next time, as always, you have a wonderful day.